Mini. This car is a 2016 and is actually the base car featured with the automatic transmission, which certainly isn't the sportiest combination that you'll find available, and it's unique, but it's very interesting to look at, and it has some very interesting and unique characteristics. You can get the Cooper S, which is kind of the upscale version, which has a lot more power. It's up around 190 horsepower, a turbocharged 4-cylinder, and a 2-liter engine. This particular car here actually has a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine, also blown with a turbocharged that's intercooled. And so the car actually has a surprisingly amount of pep. This particular car has putting about 134 horsepower and features about 162 foot-pounds of torque, which it actually gives you a pretty good kick in the rear when you put the foot down. And being that you have 3 selected modes, you have kind of the economy mode, then you have the mid-level mode, which is kind of, you know, your traction control, your throttle response, and everything is dialed in kind of mid-level. And then you have the sport mode, which is available on this car too, which just tightens everything up. And actually, it's a lot of fun. The throttle response is a lot sharper. You feel the power, and it gives you some cool themes too. When you dial in the different modes, you get different lighting themes on the center dash part here. So it's kind of a funky look. It's a unique kind of a car, cute in a lot of ways, but it's actually a lot of fun to drive. So with that 134 horsepower, that's all driven through front-wheel drive. The beauty of this car, these new Minis, is the quality control has gone up immensely. The previous generation was a fun car. It was an entry-level car, but you know, some parts of it kind of looked entry-level. This machine here doesn't look that entry-level. Yeah, the size and the price might dictate that, but it actually, there's a lot of good mixture of nice materials in here. You know, soft touch, different textures in some of the plastics, and the car does not feel cheap by any means. You know, to grab the steering wheel, it's kind of a fatter, coarser type wheel. It feels good to grab a hold of. It feels like a sportier car. Now, you know, the other thing I might comment, it's got all the typical safety add-ons that you have in today's cars, you know, like the ABS, of course, you have the traction controls and all that fun jazz. So that's all available in this car. Now the beauty is some of that you can disable for, you know, if you ever decide you want to take a little car like this to the racetrack or have a little fun with it, a little spirited driving. The power in itself generally won't get you into a lot of trouble. You can turn off those traction control aids and allow the car to be a little bit more engaging and a little bit more fun yet. The car's also got the full panoramic sunroof, which basically goes from front to back, 2 separate sections, but nonetheless, there's a lot of regular daylight that lets in through this car. It has 15-inch wheels, which sound pretty small, but believe it or not, are well suited to the car. So the car looks very well balanced. There's some nice features, not just on the inside, of course, which I mentioned already. The quality of the interior looks vastly improved from the previous generation. But the exterior also looks, just little things like the front grille, little parts just look like they've changed them a little bit. I don't know what exactly put the finger on it, but the car has a sense of a slightly higher quality and a little bit better build quality overall than the previous generation version. So all in all, it's a great new addition to the Mini brand. I just want to give you 5 things that I really don't like about this car. First thing is the power. And in previous videos I talked about how it's peppy and it's sporty and it feels like it goes pretty good, and it does. Because it is a 3-cylinder engine, even with a turbo on it, it's still not going to win any races. The car is not hugely fast. Yeah, it's peppy. Yeah, it's still fun to drive, especially in the city. But I suspect when you get out on the highway and you try to open it up, I think there's you know, you're going to find that it's a little bit short on legs. Short on legs, you might find. Because, you know, 3-cylinder turbo, 134 horsepower, it's a little bit mild and meager. So the second thing I don't like about the Mini, this Cooper Mini, the 2016 base model anyway, has a windshield that sits very, very low. And because it does that, I'm not even that tall of an individual, I'm just shy of 6 feet. But looking out of the front windshield, when you're parked at a set of, like at an intersection, looking up at the lights for the lane change, I have to lean down to look up underneath the windshield edge there, because I just can't see underneath. I can't see the lights in front of me, so I actually have to lean down to actually see. So again, you know, it's kind of give your neck a bit of an exercise. That's one thing I find limited space looking out and up, you know, for the traffic lights, for example, at an intersection. Now that being said, this sides around the car. If you're looking around to try to get a better perspective or a better view, it actually has great visibility all the way around. So as a daily driver, you know, looking, shoulder checking from your left, your right, your behind, very easy to see out. So the only real limitation is looking up to the out the front. So that's another thing that I didn't care about with this car. Now, thirdly, now this is a real weird thing, and I know a lot of cars are going to that these days, is the auto shutoff feature. You know, quite a few cars using this technology, but that being said, there's still more than not without using that technology. So it's still, when I get in a car like this, it still took me by surprise. The first time I got in, I drove off, I pulled up to a set of lights. Oh, I thought the car died. I thought there was something wrong with it. I went for a restart. But then I thought about that. No, wait a minute, it's got the stop-start feature to it. So what I ended up doing was I drove off, went through that same process again, hit the next stop sign, it stopped, it shut off, and you know what? It reliably started. When I went to take off, I lifted off the brake pedal, and the car took off. No real hesitation, and off I went. So it wasn't a real impact, but the fact that it kind of takes you by surprise, and I have to wonder if that technology isn't going to impose additional wear on a car like this over years. I mean, you've got a starter that has to do a lot more work. You have ring gear that has to do a lot more work. So yeah, you're saving fuel, but I wonder what the repairs, what that offset looks like for repairs down the road. The fourth thing that I don't care about this car, and I said in my review beforehand about the large seats in the rear of the car here, and they're fairly substantial. They're wide, they're deep, they're tall, and they can accommodate a fair-sized adult. Now the flip side to that, of course, is when the adults in the front who are of normal size, such as myself, are sitting in the front and the seats are in a position where you'd find comfortable, that virtually leaves no room for leg space for the passengers in the back. So unless your name is Bob and you have no legs or arms, you'll find that a challenge to sit in the back seats of this car. Now, lastly, the one other thing I don't particularly love, now this is really getting picky, I'm finding I have to get picky because the car has so many good features to it that you know, I'm finding this is just, I'm getting picky because overall it is a great car. So the fifth thing that I came up with is, you look at the front, you have 2 seats, you have 2 cup holders. You look at the back, you have 2 seats, 1 cup holder. Why? You get a share back there? Is it one of those things, you know, 1 drink, 2 straws? What if you're sitting back there with your buddy? That feels a little awkward. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have my own drink holder and my own drink. I'd rather do it that way versus having, you know, the 1 drink, 2 straw kind of deal. So anyway, very minor, small detail, but I thought I should point that out. Those are 5 things that I didn't care about this. I'm assuming with time, with age, there might be some weaknesses that might rear their ugly heads. Overall, a really fun car. For somebody who doesn't want to break the bank, wants to drive something that's kind of sporty, kind of fun, looks cute, it gives you a sense of a good build quality and you know, a sense of, hey, I'm driving something that feels good. It's nice, it's substantial. Even though it's small, it still feels substantial. We're going to talk about 5 things that I loved about this car. 5 things that really stood out that really make an appealing purchase for me if I were to look at buying one of these. So after spending a couple days in this car, I came up with, you know, like I said, a list of 5 items, the top 5 items that I think are selling features of this car, in my opinion, other than the obvious stuff. I mean, everybody likes cars for various reasons. But 5 things. Number 1, first thing I liked about the car, exterior styling. It's got a beautiful style to it. Yeah, it's not a supercar, but it sure is an attractive little car. It's easy on the eyes, you know, somewhat sporty, but you know, it looks well put together from the outside. You look at it from all the angles, and it actually, you know, it's a cute car. I'd go as far and say this is not a girl's car. This is actually quite a neat looking little machine. So, and I might add to that too, some of the exterior, you know, styling bits that BMW has put together here in the Mini Cooper, they look like they've been bumped up in quality. Some of the quality elements of this seem to have increased and been improved upon. So the quality looks a little bit sharper on the outside, and the style again is pretty consistent with the previous generation. but it does look appealing to me. So we do like the styling of the car. So that's number one reason. Number two thing I like about the Mini Cooper in 2016 version here is the fuel economy. That's pretty much a given. It's a small car, and if you've watched my previous video, you'll notice that, or you'll find that it comes with a 3-cylinder engine, albeit turbocharged, but it's a 3-cylinder engine. So with a 3-cylinder engine, you know it's going to get fuel mileage that's going to be agreeable with your bank book. So I just want to say fuel mileage is my number 2 reason I like this car. Number 3 reason I like this new 2016 Mini Cooper is the interior. The interior styling looks great. It's a lot like the previous generation, but it's been spruced up. The quality, the fit and finish have been ramped up quite a bit here from the previous generation, and you still have some of those cockpit type controls, almost like you're in a jet plane here. And it does give it a kind of a unique appeal. It's a different look. It's a little idiosyncratic, but it's, you know what, it's kind of unique, and there's no other car out there that really does something like this. So it's a cute car, but the interior styling is kind of on par with the exterior styling, and it's unique, but it's very interesting to look at, and it has some very interesting and unique characteristics to the interior of the car. So the fourth thing that I like about this new Mini Cooper is, if you look above us here, we have an overabundance of natural lighting coming through this panoramic style sunroof that provides a ton of natural lighting, which just really opens things up and makes it feel very breezy and nice. It's a very warm environment, even though the interior is kind of dark. In this particular case, we have a lot of dark vinyl and leather and plastic, stuff like that. The interior with the large sunroof that opens not just in the front but the back section as well, there's a large panel there. It really opens up the whole cockpit of this car and makes it really feel warm and inviting. And I just love that feeling. A lot of cars, they can feel very luxurious, but you still kind of have that dark feeling. And this car really opens it up and makes you feel, it feels bright and cheery in here. So I love that sunroof in this car. The last thing that stands out for me, unique to this car, what I like a lot about, is the sportiness, the overall sportiness of it. Yeah, it's not a 610 horsepower supercar with all-wheel drive and does 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds. It doesn't matter. It's not trying to do that. It's a very affordable, sporty car that is somewhat adjustable. You have sports settings that you can liven this thing up on the flick of a switch, and it really revs it. It gives you that more immediacy to the throttle response. You can hear it. You can hear that change and that throttle, the different change in the throttle. Like I said, immediacy. You also get a little bit more, it feels like more power. I don't know if it's dialing any more power, but it certainly feels that way. And the whole car has a little bit different level, or it feels like a different level of agility. So, that whole sport setting and the way it handles and the way it revs feels very sporty, a lot of fun to drive. And you know what? I know it's not a supercar, but it sure feels really sporty in the right conditions. You don't have to drive it like that, but you certainly can. And also because of the relative long wheelbase to the short length of the car, and you'll notice the wheels are almost to the outer corners of the car, that really gives the whole car a really awesome balance, which again adds to that sporty feel of the car. When you're driving it, it's quite nimble. It has a tight enough suspension which makes it feel very taut and aggressive in the corners, and that just makes it for a wonderful little package for driving. So again, those are the things that I love about this car, the 5 items that I really enjoyed during my time with driving this car, that I thought I'd express with you. And maybe you have some other thoughts on that. Maybe some of you are owners of this car already and have some different thoughts on it. That, in my time, in the short time that I've had it, I've found that I've really enjoyed about it. So thanks again. Please subscribe and keep coming back for more. There's a lot of more videos to follow. Thanks again.